Yep, there's my life bot grabbing it.
We get a little scene. This place is completely lifeless. Even ideas are buried here. Ah,
So we're burning books, forbidden
now that's two
books.
guys.
Yeah.
Although, does he look familiar at all?
No. The designs on all these characters look very. Both those guys look
I
identical to
mean,
me,
that's
though.
fair,
He
that's
might be
fair.
the guy for that we cut his throat. Like he seems a little taller and lankier than the others. Is that the way dude or
Remember to
whatever we
thoroughly
killed?
destroy each book and add the spirit money to throw them off.
Ah.
There can't be any intact book pages, or else this would be for nothing, for naught.
What are we destroying?
The banned books. We're
Oh,
destroying
oh,
evidence.
okay. So we're just destroying.
Hey, Wei,
Okay, way. So okay, lanky ass boy. Yeah,
you're closer with Miss Yin.
the teacher.
I heard that she had to flee the country overnight. Is that true?
So she was a communist.
Mm,
Maybe.
no. So
Suspected.
let me put it to you this way: communist or not doesn't matter in this case.
Well, no, yeah, it's a witch hunt.
But she was because, like, again, Wei was talking a lot about Miss Yin and stuff, so more than likely she was involved with the books at the very least.
Okay.
I'm not sure. She never said anything about leaving. Unlike Miss Yin, we don't have the connections to guide us to safety. Aren't you afraid? Well, actually, what bothers me the most is, do you know how the reading list got leaked out?
That's what we had. That was the gun.
Stop asking questions. I'm as clueless as you.
So they're hiding. Okay.
No, you're not, Wei.
They,
You're not as clueless.
they're hiding the evidence of the books they had. The books that are potentially listed as communist propaganda or whatnot.
Banned for some
Hiding it.
reason or another.
They're banned. They're burning any copies so they can't be found.
Yep.
And hiding it like they were burning spirit money.
Yes.
So that anyone who goes to the ashes would find that instead.
Yes. And he just confirmed that the reason they have to do any of this is
Because
that the
list
book
was
reading
leaked.
list got out. And we know from a previous conversation we saw,
He gave us that list.
and he's probably not feeling really good about that.
No, because we did something with that list. How did we use the list?
Let's just hurry up and finish this. We don't want to get caught.
The secret ingredient is forbidden knowledge. Exactly, Jay.
A written verdict from court. Written verdict from court. A torn piece of the verdict. Chang Minghui, district-level educator, is found guilty with students Wei and others of collusion with communist forces. Chang Minghui is to be put to death after the court's ruling.
That's the counselor, correct?
Yes. Wei Chengting pleads guilty to affiliation with communist forces, reading of prohibited texts with rebellious and corrupt thoughts. Will be sentenced to 15 years jail time.
That's who the scruffy-looking ass dude is. It's Wei. He's not dead. He's just out of prison now. We got him killed. So we got him killed because he left us? Because we were angry and we lashed out? So we made this look like he's the one responsible?
I'm gonna say this just right now. I can't remember if this is gonna get touched on fully. Like it just said, Chang, the guidance counselor was put to death, right?
Yeah, that's what the bag over the head, the gunshot.
Yeah, and like it said in that verdict, he was listed as part of this whole thing.
Yeah.
However, and again, I'm not sure if
We're
the game...
obviously dead as well.
I'm not sure if the game actually says this. It might a little later, and then this was pointless of me saying it. But, so when it comes to the banned books and the book club and the reading list, she had no idea Chang was involved.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
So then, earlier I may have been right. What you hinted at, that maybe I'm wrong in that the teachers didn't have a relationship, but she misunderstood it. So use the list to get against the teacher, Miss Lynn, which instead backfired and got the counselor executed, students imprisoned,
Miss Yin
potentially
fled
others
the country,
executed.
apparently,
She had to
supposedly.
flee the country.
A lot of shit happens. Oh.
Yeah, that's definitely the dude now out of prison, I imagine.
The bonfire of hope is almost depleted, diminishing in the wind. Oh. Well.
Yeah, because there she is teaching them.
Some of the book contents might conflict with your everyday thoughts. But this material will help you engage in reflective and independent thinking. Which is kind of funny, because that sounds counter-communist. Well, let's call it a day. I do want to remind you all again to never mention the book club to anyone else. For that might put yourself and others in great danger. And Wei, I'd like to ask you a favor. Yes, Miss Yin, is it about the new books? I've already given the list to Mr. Chang. He said the shipping company won't help us anymore, but he'll figure something out. The government is enforcing restrictions on all imports. Soon the book club might come to an end. Miss Yin, why are things like this? I'm sorry, Wei. There's nothing I can do either. Oh, just one more thing before you go. Mr. Chang never brought us any of those books in the first place, right? Ha! I know I can always count on you.
So she's not even a part of this club.
What, Miss Yin?
No, us.
No. So from that obvious thing there, Miss Yin's running it, essentially.
Yeah.
Mr. Chang's involvement is just getting the books in.
I mean, that still makes him somewhat involved.
Oh, it makes him very much involved because, yeah, he's actually getting the banned books into the country. Clipping, blacklisted to return home for burial. Half a century in exile, blacklisted to return home for burial. During the period of martial law, Miss Yin Sui Han was a wanted political fugitive. She was lucky to evade arrest and left the country only to be blacklisted. She traveled the world fighting for human rights and freedom of expression, but unfortunately died of lung cancer at the age of 50. Her last wish was to be able to return to her hometown. Now this wish can be achieved with the lifting of martial law.
Yeah, that's kind of funny, Jay. There was a time when in 1984 the book was banned in America for being pro-communist, but at the same time was banned in Russia for being anti-communist.
Wait, what? Huh? Hold on.
I mean, it's entirely possible. Different viewpoints of how something is said.
Okay, I get that, but how the hell could they think it was pro-communist? It made it sound terrible.
Oh, it was a Red Scare. Like, everything was all over that kind of shit at the time.
I guess, but you'd think they'd want a book like that shows, like, Big Brother and all that stuff. Like, you know? Oh. Well, I guess we follow him. Have you read 1984? Not in a long, long time.
Not in a few decades, hon.
America has never been cool with the idea of letting people know capitalism isn't the only way. I mean, okay.
That's true. They very much prefer their capitalistic society.
Hmm.
Okay, so someone got locked in the bathroom.
The door is barred by a broom. There's a note at on top of it. Snitcher. You want to guess who got locked in the bathroom?
Us.
Remove the broom? Yep.
It's our dead-ass body, isn't it?
No.
No? Okay, it's
No,
still
no,
us.
no,
I
no.
mean,
We
we
didn't.
just went into the other world.
We didn't. Yeah, but we didn't get killed. We got,
We died at some point.
Yes, we did.
Younger than the other dude who was put in prison for 15 years, because it's definitely him walking around here.
Wait. Oh, that's the school music. Someone playing the piano?
I don't think we died of natural causes, Jay. To be honest, if I have any speculation, we killed ourselves. There is that scene of us throwing ourselves off the roof. Whether that's reality or not, or just part of the scare of the game, that potentially hints at what we could have done. Because our ghost appears young.
Another note.
It never appears older.
Note entry. Collector. Picked up all the notes. Note entry. Excerpt. That time, in fear, forcing herself to breed hatred. Who knew that she would take that leap and leave this world behind? Nary a last word because of fear? Remorse? The reason remains undecided. I was left with a blur of confused thoughts spiraling through my mind. When I saw the sunlight again, things had changed drastically. My loved ones and teacher went to a higher place. She was buried in an unmarked grave, leaving me a decrepit man.
No, I'm right, yeah. We killed ourselves. We threw ourselves off the building. Jumping is a very common thing. Yeah. Why Japan has those funny fences on top of their buildings.
Well, it doesn't look like there's anywhere else to go now. Is that the only door? Yes. But we found every single note in the game. Oh, and there's a save point. Okay. Yep. Definitely going to use it because both times they said you are me, so we're good so far. There is going to be a... Well, huh?
Yeah, Vic, you might be right that the whole snitch thing, that could have been us locked in there. People could have figured out. I mean, Wei would have known it was us.
I mean,
and
Wei would
have been revealed that it was us who gave the list. Which, yeah, would have had people bully the shit out of us. But more so, it's not just the bullying. It's the fact that the counselor was killed.
There's a note on the cart. We're seeing the...
I think yeah.
We're seeing echoes
I think if
again.
she killed herself, it was because the counselor was killed. Oh. Unsettling. What happens if our shadow goes in the way? We stop them.
Oh. Okay.
We turn it on, go back and talk to ourselves. Because I imagine in the other variation we can't touch it.
Oh, whoops. Not the door.
Yeah. Slightly not the best design to put the light so close to the door.
It's fine.
Yeah, the light switch isn't there in this variation. Then we stop.
Acting immediately on one's determination. This is the philosophy he believed in. That someone should take fate into their own hands. With you following him, what ideas do you hold? Take hold of your destiny, live a laid-back life, submit to one's fate.
Take hold of your destiny, I believe.
hold of your destiny. That is a charming thought.
No.
So life has gained
No.
a goal. Next to him, you found yourself. You are me.
Oh. I thought the ... that this is a charming thought. I was like, I fucked up.
No. If it was the other thing, it would have basically been like ... maybe one sentence, and then it would said but you are not me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Is it this way? I'm trying to remember. Oh, it might be this way.
True, Lily. You do kind of stumble around in the dark if you don't put the light switch next to the fucking door. That's not false.
Yeah. Yeah, there's been once or twice where I've been like, well, hell, that game wait, what? No matter how many times this replays, nothing can be unwound. You can never redeem yourself. Ah, here we go. So, you remember how the one thing you keep asking is, how did we use it?
The one dude who was always patrolling the school. We gave the list to him. Yep. He took it from there.
Instructor by.
Instructor by.
This is the book list I mentioned before. I found it on our teacher's desk. Remember at the start of the game, the first thing he did was come up and say, Miss Yin, I'd like to talk to you. Do you know anything about this list?
Okay. I wasn't paying enough attention at the start.
Miss Fang, the country appreciates your assistance.
Yeah. So yeah, we report them. This is all our fault.
I'm kind of wishing now I'd gone through that other... Hang on, will it let me go back? No, well... kind of wish I'd tried that other door because I don't remember if that actually works or not. Did you think finding something to rely on would stave off your fear? One day, however, he was gone, just like that. You've lost everything you can depend on. What choice will you make now? Quietly accept, try to take them back, calm indifference. What do you think?
I feel like we quietly accepted. They said we didn't leave a note. We didn't say anything. We just accepted our fate, took destiny into our hands, and jumped off.
So, let me put it to you a different way right now. This is less about what we did in the past, and more about what we want to do now.
I mean, I guess.
Notice they're not saying they're not saying you did anything. They're saying you've lost everything you can depend on. What choice will you make now? This moment.
To try to take them back.
The instructor's sharp gaze was stifling. You steeled yourself and performed without hesitation. In that one moment, transforming into a pitiless patriot. Easier than you think, right? You are me. Now I'm kind of wishing I had gone through that other door, because I don't remember if there's another scene behind that. Fuck.
Wait, what other door?
Remember I went all the way to the left and there was a gate? I didn't actually try it. I gotta follow the guy. It's fine, though. It's fine. Oh. Oh! Okay, the gate might have been locked and it was just said that we couldn't open it.
Oh, the gate's till now. Yeah.
Okay, so we're fine.
This is the last piece. We jumped.
However... Oh.
Yeah, and that's way now older. Released from prison.
Item received, yellowed paper plane.
That's old.
From the white deer to my white daffodil, fate holds us apart. So let us meet again in another life, to our freedom. Ah.
The one fucking flower was a white daffodil. He's
And
the white deer.
And if you can guess
You're
from
the
this, she didn't write this.
No, he did.
He wrote this back to her. So, here's the scene that's going to kind of clear a lot of this part up, but at the same time... Oop. Open the door. Chang Ming Hui, you are suspected of spreading anti-government propaganda, smuggling banned books, and organizing illegal gatherings. The court has already obtained the necessary evidence. We now arrest you on the grounds of rebellious activities. Do not resist on pain of death.
This is the scene where we saw a bunch of people out in the courtyard. We were watching from the roof when everyone got arrested.
Martial law. Gotta love it, huh? Oh. Looks like it will be difficult to escape this time. Fine. Take my head so that I may join my brothers and sisters in death. Why? Aren't people born to live freely? To think openly, to speak their minds without restriction or fear? Freedom of belief, love, and self-realization? Being with you was a happiness of the simplest and purest kind. I couldn't help but think. When we could be hand in hand living an untroubled life. But in the end, this is only a fool's dream. I too am vain like the daffodils, fixated on my grandiosity. The world is not ready for the likes of us. So, you can take that... Daffodils die by a river of crimson blood, decaying rust-like into the void. And if we did it right... Oh. Yep. Okay, we got all the right answers. So we get the true ending, essentially. So, for one thing, you were 100% right, Maddie. This is Wei.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Now, I do want to say one thing before we move on. Also, there's some stuff in the journal that we can actually look at that's important. That scene there at the end with the counselor. So, again, differences, blah, 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 blah. Don't want to say anything, However, I will say, as far as I can tell, the implications of that final scene, like with the counselor there, is him basically saying that he genuinely loved her. And the reason he started acting cold was, well, one,
the keeper say.
Yes. Because Miss Yin brought up to him again the point of...
They are in the same boat. If she goes down, it risks bringing her with.
Yes.
But she misunderstood this, overhearing it. And in turn caused all of this.
Yes. She did it thinking it would only affect Miss Yin. and not realizing that it would affect a lot more people, including him,
Yeah.
which got him killed.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, now I'm going to say again, I've seen other people play this game. I've watched a few playthroughs,
Uh-huh.
and that same thing does come up. Like, obviously, current time and everything, power
Yeah.
imbalance, etc., etc. It comes up. And like I say, I make the idea of cultural differences being a different time, a different era, so to speak. And I obviously I agree with that. You know, that's not right.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, that kind of final bit there, like, is it wrong to feel emotional about that? Because, like, they do put it, like, in a sense that this wasn't meant to be some kind of, like,
Wait, how is that possible, Lily? How was the counselor 19? That doesn't make sense. The counselor would have been older than that.
yeah, Chang was definitely not 19. I mean, I don't know how old they
Yeah.
were, but
I can see your point of view. There
yeah.
is a sadness in the attempt for their love
Mm,
being destroyed like that over, such a
yeah.
thing.
And the idea
Without
that
condoning
I
any of
know,
that shitty
I
stuff.
know. The the problem, the only problem I have where it comes into like the weird, like, cuz yeah, you condemn that
There's a
kind of
power
behavior.
imbalance.
Yeah, you condemn that
It's a
behavior,
no-no.
that kind of stuff. It's maybe I'm being stupid. It's the part where I find that, like, that last bit for me, at least the first time I played it, when they basically put it like that, and it found the game is literally putting it that, like I said, the feelings are genuine. That this wasn't some kind of just thing he was doing. He wanted to genuinely be with them,
I
and
mean,
that's where I get like a little. I'm not saying yeah, but I at least feel an emotional, like, punch in
you
the
and
heart there.
I, you and I certainly see things a little different then. I, while
Mm,
being quite the hopeless romantic, I find the whole of it too disgusting, more or
mm,
less, because the
mm.
power imbalance is sickening
Yeah.
to me.
No, I
It's
understand
too
that.
fucked up of a situation for me to enjoy or feel
I'm not
sad.
in. I do
Enjoy is
feel
probably the wrong
sad. I
word.
do feel
I don't
sad.
feel sad though. Like, I guess I don't, because it's, you know,
I mean, adding on to that the idea of someone died and all that, but like,
to be
yeah,
fair, in a devil's advocate kind of view, it's his fault. If he had never made that power imbalance and a relationship with a student, she never would have likely come across the situation where she would have used the list to try and hurt the other teacher against him.
I mean,
She wouldn't
fair.
have come into that situation if he had done his job as a counselor and helped her actually with her problems.
I hear you on that one, Lily. I've put up with Clamp. I can put up with this. uh, please
I
tell me
can
you know
again.
Clamp.
I've heard of the anime. I've never seen it. I
No, no,
actually have
no.
no. Oh,
Clamp are the people that make stuff along the lines of Card Captor Sakura and
what's a clamp was anime? I don't know. I've heard of.
Cl-
I've seen some card
Clamp is
captor soccer.
a
It's been a long time.
publisher, etc.
No,
Um,
I mean
yeah.
I see your tragic nature of it. I just don't feel any sympathy
Mm,
for, in hindsight, I
yeah.
can see as an outside perspective
Yeah.
multiple avenues of how this situation could have been done differently.
Right.
I've seen a little bit of Chobits. I've never seen Angelic Layer. Oh god, Tsukasa was wild. I remember watching that ages ago. Exactly.
Yeah.
As a narrative, both interpretations are not wrong. your interpretation is just as valid in a sort of feeling terrible for the fact that, yes, his words indicate some sort of heartfelt care. It's just that on the other end of it, had he not done it to start, this never would have happened.
I did have an Illinois.
Yeah, I vaguely remember that, Lily.
I think we can all agree at the very least to the tragedy of all the death and like what occurred, though. In general, obviously, this was a terrible thing that happened.
People
Whether okay.
Well, no, I mean as a whole. Come on. I'm sorry, as a sort of, this is Nyadi's very not typical sweetness mood. As a whole, humanity is a terrible breed of creature. We are monsters to our core. We have the capability for great good and kindness, and yet so many will use what we have for terrible self-gain and to hurt others below them. And so humanity as a whole, I think, is quite terrible. Individuals can be great. Individuals can do so many wonderful things. But until, as a whole, humanity changes, I find very little joy in people. In a strange sense.
I try to have hope.
There's having hope, but sometimes you have to have a realism, and sometimes you have to understand that hope is not something you wait for. Hope is something you fight for. And my claws are quite sharp for a reason. I will fight for a future that I deserve to have, and the people who come after me deserve to have.
I almost think you should be in politics.
You know I'm not allowed. People like us aren't allowed to be in politics.
Back to this, though. We have Wei here who has grown older. And he has different notes now in his journal. Amnesty certificate. A certificate of amnesty. Name, Wei Chung Ting. Type of pardon, amnesty. Crime declared invalid. Thought I would rot in jail. I didn't expect to live past martial law. People say I'm a victim of politics. My crime was written off, but my youth is long past. Something lost can never be regained.
I just realized something. A cute little detail here. You are picking the pages the opposite direction. Yeah, I mean, you still read it from left to right, but you're actually flipping the pages right to left. I just now realized. I was like, wait, why are you going backwards?
Because it's Asian.
Because it's Asian. Yes. Yeah. No. Sorry, it was just a cute little note I noticed.
No, that's fine.
Just attention to detail.
I mean, I would hope they would notice that detail. They made it. Literally, the company, the devs that made this are in Taiwan.
Exactly, Mr. Foxperson, sir. I've read human history. Y'all need a lot of fixing. No amount of my goddess abilities can help humanity.
Thank you, Jay.
Exactly.
Letters from home.
Lady of the Crimson Kiss.
A yellowed letter. My son, Chung Ting. Even though I witness sickness and death on a daily basis, this still fills my heart with grief. Your mother's disease was utterly untreatable. I can only hope she died without worry, without pain. A person's body can be physically locked up, but your mind is always free to go where it pleases. Father hopes you can still get some peace of mind in this situation. Stay warm, stay safe. Your father, Jia Jin? I hope I'm saying that right.
Damn. Wait, his mom just died while he was in prison?
Yeah.
That's fucked. See, that's more fucked to me than...
But see, that compiles with everything else. That's the thing.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the consequences of her actions.
Yeah.
There's more than just what we initially see. Yeah. We first initially see a teacher who's forced to flee her home. We see students taken and put in jail and people executed. But it's a ripple effect, you know? He loses his entire childhood and thus also loses family and friends and connections, and his life is never going to be easy from this moment forward, even being pardoned.
Eventually, Mother still passed away. Father didn't take it well and had to take a break from his clinic work. His written words were spirited and calming. They supported me during my darkest days.
Exactly, Jay. No one is necessarily innocent here.
Verdict from court. Torn piece of the verdict. Yeah, this is the same one. Chang Ming-hui, district-level educator, found guilty with students Wei and others of collusion with communist forces, put to death after the court's ruling, sentenced to 15 years jail time. 15 years of my life were taken away by a piece of paper. I can still clearly remember when the military police came knocking and carried me off in front of my mother. Little did I know that was the last time I would see her face. Blacklisted, so we read that earlier.
She came back now.
No.
Well, her bones more or less came back.
She was allowed to come back to be buried. She was dead. After being released from jail, I haven't had any contact with Miss Yin. I couldn't believe it at first, but I heard she had passed away abroad due to lung cancer. Like with my mother, only after seeing her ashes with my own eyes was I able to realize I had lost a familiar part of my heart forever. Excerpt, that time and fear forcing herself to breed hatred, who knew that she would take the leap, yeah.
So this is about us.
It doesn't matter what I was feeling back then. Only pain and sadness remain.
Yeah, so he was probably angry.
This is him, yeah, it's him writing about her.
Yeah.
But there's still a little more to go.
After all that time, anger fades.
Construction signboard. Evidence of vandalism alongside many signs of protest. Now, you're going to notice a funny thing here a little bit. Metal lodging for laborers, alas to be demolished, all to be demolished. Oh, same thing.
Yes, humanity at its core.
Now we're heading uphill. Ooh. Barred from the heavens and hampered from the underworld.
Oh my god, it's the fucking old lady!
Alone and wandering forever she goes.
That's us.
Pitiful. I think that's all she has to say on that. But yeah, that old lady is actually here. The one that we walked past when we died and all that. Died.
You're beautiful, you weird old bitch. Oh, Lily. You're amazing.
No, can't look at any of that.
Oh, yeah, Celeste reference. Go live in the mountain and laugh at people who can't.
Oh, we can look at that. The large banyan tree has been cut down. It's weathered the storm of generations, yet it fell under the sharp edge of human desire.
You know, weirdly enough, I can now see the symbolism of, quote, cutting his throat in that other world, too. Because, damn, we really fucked him over.
Yeah. We're here, going through this old place once more. Oh, credits.
The credits.
You can still look at things, though. Time. It rots everything away. Even I cannot hide from it. Broken mirror. Now, like I said, this is the good ending. I suppose the true ending, you could say.
I'm curious, is the alternate ending we just jump off the roof up there? And we're trapped in this loop forever?
You're half right. I won't say which half.
I assume the half I'm assuming we're correct in is that we're trapped forever. The letter from the counselor feels like it indicates a sort of forgiveness. A sort of way for her to move on finally. So if
Well,
you don't see that, I feel like she doesn't have any final closure, and she loops in this purgatory,
the,
forever damned to relive her actions.
so the thing is, her moving on, like whether or not she moves on, is more about her accepting what she's done and the gravity of it all, so to speak. Instead of...
Yeah, Jay, wait. Sorry.
Oh, sorry?
You're fine. Go on.
Wei was a student in the book club. He's the only person we know of who got out of it alive. I mean, presumably other students might not have been killed. We don't know for sure. Didn't really say. In that one scene, like the teacher, the dead teacher, implied that more students were killed.
Sorry, though, you were talking about the ending.
Although I will say one thing, there is... So that scene actually made a really good point, though, as well. Because, like you were saying, it wouldn't have happened if, like, you know, if a lot of things hadn't occurred to begin with. Also, in that one scene, though, with Miss Yin, like where she's tied to the chair or whatever, she brings up a very good point of, if you had a problem, why didn't you just talk to me?
Yeah, instead of...
Obviously, it's a situation of emotions running high and, like, rage and then not thinking clearly. Yep, this is it. This is our final destination on this. This old school. Run down to be demolished.
Our seat.
Sitting at our desk one last time.
Is the ghost gonna show up in the other one? Yep. Who got all this blood on my desk?
And that's it. Like I said, for me, this is one of the more emotionally impactful games. It deals with some very heavy and, like, real, you can say real world topics. Now, they make it very clear, like I said, at the start of the game, they make it very clear, not based on real people, real, etc., etc. Now, martial law and that really happened. Like, I looked into, like, some of the history based on the time, the era this occurred in and all that stuff, and yeah, there was a serious era of martial law which is looked back on terribly in the history of Taiwan. A lot of bad things happened. So you could view it as also a period piece, like, for that.
Pop-Tart would like you to hydrate.
I just did.
Okay.
I saw it, don't worry. But I think, like, I think that's essentially what they were going for. Like, half of it is a period piece, like, to show what it was like back then. But, I mean, outside of that, it's just to make a story uniquely from their country, from where they are, their perspective, right? And I think they did a really good job.
Yeah. I think it's a well-made game.
And to think it would have been... Well, okay, no, it wouldn't have been better, but... I was about to say, if she'd been a bit older, it might have been a little less... but no, because then it's probably would have been just like a college or university or whatever, and then it's still... You know...
No.
Imbalance. It just wouldn't have been as big of an age thing.
But the age thing is the issue there, but
Yeah.
I mean, it's the power imbalance, and it's the immaturity that comes. Her actions right there prove it.
Yeah.
She immaturely lashed out over these actions, not fully having the mental state yet to process and handle it like an adult. Granted, I've met adults who would have done the same thing.
Now,
So,
Lily, I will say the only thing I can say to that, and again, this isn't like, is that as far as I know, the situation, at least involving like the school, it wasn't that, like, yes, he was her counselor. He was the only counselor, so there wouldn't have been anyone else to see, essentially. But that's kind of splitting hairs. But yeah, no, like I said, it's a very
Mr. Fox person.
after school detention. Nope, the entire book club being taken into detention by the state. Yeah, technically.
I was gonna say, technically, we never saw anyone get detention in school. But true, Mr. Fox person, sir, says it best. They got detention by the state.
Yeah. But yeah, no, this was a game, like I said, I played it originally in 2017. It left a big impact on me. Story hit me really hard. I was amazed by, like, just what the hell, what they basically, the story they told on this. Because it's very, like, when you get down to what the actual story is, like, not discounting, the afterlife, netherworld, ghosts, all that stuff. When you get down to what the actual story is that occurred, it's very real, very, like, it's something you could see happen, right?
Yeah.
It's something easily, like, I don't want to say relatable, because obviously we're not from that part of the world. We don't know.
Yeah.
We've never been through something like martial law, anything like that. So,
not yet,
Smile. But it's relatable in a very general sense of just, like, loss of life and, like people know when something terrible happens to someone else. I mean,
Yeah.
People can understand tragedy.
I can understand it from a tragedy point of view.
Yeah.
It's an interesting game, and it's a well-told story. I enjoy it, and thank you for sharing it with me.
Well, I'm glad I could. And like I said,
it does not impact me barely at all. The other game we played together, one of our first ones,
what?
That had impact on me.
Oh, the missing? Well, yeah. I could.
Impact,
I mean,
because
yes,
that
because.
touches me more.
Well, yes, because that kind of more
really
directly. That more directly kind of links to both of us. So I mean, yes, I see that, but at the same time, like.
What do you mean? Don't bring bad juju? Bad juju.
Maybe it's because I don't watch dramas. Like, I don't really watch that kind of stuff too much. So maybe just kind of an emotional story like this, a tragic story like this, has more impact on me because I don't really watch that stuff as much or anything like that. I don't know if you do more. But
not as much.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I hear you, Lily. I understand.
What did I do, Fire? What did I say? I'm sorry.
I don't know either.
I just see myself out.
I'm not sure. But yeah, no. I was glad to have you here for this, Maddie. Thank you so much.
The no martial law yet.
Okay. So like I said, the same developers, they did do a second game. It's not a point and click. It's a first person horror game.
That sounds more terrifying.
It is.
Continuation?
No.
Oh.
It is still set in Taiwan, and it's kind of another. I don't want to say it's a period piece, but it's another story from. It's very much a cultural story again, like something from their culture more specifically. It's called Devotion. And it is a story about, like, you play as the father of a family. And it's basically the tribulations that happen and go through, etc., etc. again, it's very surreal for a lot of it, but it's an amazing game. I absolutely love it. Like I said before, that is a game that was on Steam for like maybe 2 weeks before it got freaking yanked down, and the world was deprived of it for years. I was lucky enough to buy it on release day and keep it. Vignette. Yeah, I suppose that's a good way to look at it, a vignette. So, I mean, if at some time in the future you would want to join me for that one too, yeah. we could probably do it in one sitting like this, but, I mean, I think we probably want to finish Majora's Mask first.
That's totally up to you.
But, yeah, I'm glad you could join me for this. Okay, so what we're gonna do here, I'm gonna cut the recording first. But I will...
YouTube.
I will say, yeah, I'm not gonna do a big outro or anything, but I will say, anyone who is watching this later, again, love this game. That's why I've done a replay here with Maddie. So check it out if it interests you. And there will be links in description for Maddie, so check out Maddie's channel. Okay?
Don't check me out. It's okay.
Please check out Maddie. Come on, do it. My God. But yeah. Just, I'm glad I got a chance to do this. So thank you for joining me, Maddie. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for sharing this with me.
Okay. Let me just... Oh, right. I have to tab out to cut this.